Hello, and welcome to another video of ConfigBot for ServiceNow. This is a basic overview of the translations module of ConfigBot for ServiceNow. In ServiceNow, the translation process is often time-consuming because it requires manually extracting data, sending it to the translation team, and then re-uploading the translated content back into the instance. With ConfigBot for ServiceNow, this entire process is automated. The tool quickly generates files with translated content and efficiently pushes them back into ServiceNow. ServiceNow stores translated data across multiple tables, but with ConfigBot for ServiceNow, you no longer need to manage these steps manually. The system handles the workflow end-to-end, ensuring faster and more accurate translations. Let's begin. This is the main login page of ConfigBot. Enter your username and password, then click Submit. Once logged in, you will see the main dashboard with different modules. Navigate to Platform and then click on Translations module tile to go to the workspace. Then click on Add New Iteration. Click the Add Iteration button. Here, add an iteration number. Select your workspace. Select any option from the drop-down of which you want to create translations such as catalog item. Enter the host address. Choose the instance type and provide your company ID. Enter your username, and then add any relevant description according to your execution. Finally, click at the Submit to create the iteration. Now click on the workspace in which you created iteration, in this case, Demo. Click on the workbook icon and Open Workbook. Here you can see the sheet where all the related navigation for your ServiceNow instance, then config, catalog item, service catalog, and so on. Notice there is no data in each sheet. We will execute reverse operation to fetch data from instance. Open the config sheet. Here you can see different options to fetch data from your instance. In this case, we are using fetch only for catalog item filter value and for variable questions filter value, while fetch by query for question choices filter value. Once the config is done for reverse data, close the workbook and click at the hamburger menu and select the Generate Workbook, then enter your ServiceNow password and add relevant notes. Finally, select checkbox for relevant sheets to fetch the data and click at Confirm and Start button to process execution. Once the execution is start, you can see the status changes to processing. Click at the eye icon to view details of execution. Here, you can see the total execution time, tracking IDs, logs, and the sheet on which bot is working. Once the processing status is completed, open the workbook and see the data we specified in config sheet now successfully fetched in respective sheets. Now I will open same record in Employee Center to verify changes made from the bot. This is the record I fetch in my ConfigBot sheet to create translation for my Italian user. Rhino, you can see the Italian user can see the record in English. Back to the sheet to create translation for the fetched records. Here in the column H Italian, I will write the translated text for each record. You can use any translator to translate the text in your required language. Once the translation's created for each record, make sure you have set the record status pending in each row and sheet. Now close the workbook and click at hamburger menu, then select Start Configuration option. Enter your ServiceNow password and add relevant notes. Check select box for each specified sheet for which you are performing automation and click at Confirm and Start button to process execution. Once execution starts, you can view details of execution. You can see the total execution time, tracking IDs, logs, and the sheet on which bot is working. The catalog item turned into green means the automation for catalog item is completed, while the variable questions is orange means right now bot is performing automation on this sheet, and blue means still pending. Once the status changes to complete, you can see all the sheets options turned into green. Now open workbook and here you can see the rows turned green and processing status changes to processed. We can see these changes one by one in each sheet. And this means that the translations are created successfully. Back to your instance to verify. Open the record form on Service Portal. Make sure you are impersonated the specified user. Once the page open, you can see the same record in translated version. Look how easily we created faster and more accurate translation using ConfigBot Translations module. Thank you for watching.